What's going on, chicken friends? It's Donna Little from the Coop Scoop, and maybe you can hear the little peeping in the background. Our new babies are here. Now, please excuse the horrible lighting. I do have a heat lamp on, so it's going to look kind of like a little reddish glow in here, but I needed a source of heat for these guys, and we're about to unbox them. I'm not going to know who's who for a little while, but I'm going to show you guys what I do when I get new chicks and how to get them started and all the things that you're going to need to keep them happy and healthy for the first couple of weeks of their lives, things that are just really important. So let's get this box open. All right, I did take a peek in there, and everybody seemed to be really healthy. Hi. Now, when I get new chicks, first thing I do is get one out at a time and dip their beak in the water. So I need them to know where their source of water is. Yeah, good little baby. So even if this takes a little second, they need to know where they can get water from. This is mostly actually just important for when you've had chicks shipped to you. There you go, sweetie. Oops, my goodness. If you have chicks that have been hatched at your house by a hen, you're good. Mom's going to show them everything they need. But when you've had them, if you buy them also from a local farm store, still not a bad idea to do this. But especially if they've traveled. There you go. Let's get you close to the water. So each one is going to get a little sip of water. And I leave them in the box and take them out individually so I don't, get confused. Did I do this one already? Did I not? All right. There you go. 8 little new babies. It's going to take me a little bit of time to figure out who is who, but all of their food is going to be over here. I'll show them where their food is. And they pick up on this so fast. It's going to be, they're pretty self-sufficient, even from the time they hatch out. Now, everybody has a different kind of enclosure. I understand that, but if you're new to chicks, what you're going to want to do is just make sure that you have, I have puppy pens. I'll kind of turn this camera and you'll be able to see. I have a puppy pen. I have a lot of them from when I used to do rescue. And I've just lined it with this sort of rubbery garden cloth or something. I don't know actually what it is. But it's so that they can't get out. They've got enough space to walk around. And they've got enough space to get away from the heat. Now, I am not a huge fan of the heat lamp. However, I did do some reading and some research on different brooder plates, and you can go look those up if you've never heard of a brooder plate. But I was just seeing some bad reviews on everything I looked at, that it wasn't keeping the chicks warm enough, that it turned off in the middle of the night, that it was way too hot and the chicks were overheating. So I already had the heat lamp. They're going to be inside the house for probably the next 2 weeks. I'll be able to really keep a close eye on this heat lamp to make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do. But one of the things that, as far as the heat source goes, that's vitally important is they just need a place to be able to be under the heat and to get away from the heat. I see a lot of people saying, I don't know what's wrong with my chicks. They're all laying down and their wings are spread out. It's probably because they're overheating. Something that I also have, and excuse me for a second while I reach and grab this, is one of these. And it will tell you what your temperature is. Like right where they're standing, it's about 82 degrees, but inside the box is 92. So they're able to get in there. They need to be at 90 to 95 degrees for the first week, and then you're going to lower that temperature by about 5 degrees until they start to acclimate. And see, they're already eating their food, and they all look really healthy. But things that are important when you bring chicks home, obviously a heat source. Obviously you want to get them eating, and you want to show them where their water is. Something that you also, I think, gets ignored a lot of times or forgotten about is to make sure, this is why I always keep mine in the house, make sure that they don't get something that's called pasty butt. And pasty butt is exactly what it sounds like. It's when they poop and it's a little bit wet and it sticks to their feathers. When they're this size, it can actually close up their vent, which is where they poop from, and so you need to be just constantly checking on them and making sure that that's not happening. If you see pasty butt, then you're going to want to just take a wet paper towel and very, very gently, they have very delicate skin, very gently just work that off. If you see it happen and it's still wet, get it off right then. It's much easier to handle. These guys look like they're tired. There's two in the corner that are just snoozing, standing beside each other, but I am very happy with how they all look. They all look very healthy, and they're all chattering away and eating, and so my babies have arrived. Here are the little babies. They are doing really, really well. It's been a few hours. I let them settle in. They're obviously all standing in the food bowl, having a little snack. But I'm going to recap some of the things that I said and then add a few things that I forgot about, because when I got them home, I was just wanting to get them out of that box as quickly as possible and make sure everyone was doing okay. But things to remember, especially if you've had chicks shipped through the postal system, is to take them out individually, dip their beaks into their water, and make sure they know where their source of water is. They pick things up really, really quickly. Once you do that, they're pretty much golden. They're gonna remember where that was. I always sprinkle food down on the ground close to their heat source. That's where the heat lamp is, and so that way they can stay warm and go ahead and start figuring out where their food is, which clearly they know where it is now. I would also say definitely keep an eye out for pasty butt. While pasty butt is no fun for anybody, they can go downhill pretty quickly if you don't handle it. So I had one in my last batch. It was Charlotte. If you watch my channel, you know who she is. She had pasty butt every day. It went on for probably close to 2 weeks, 10 days to 2 weeks, and then it resolved itself. But had I not handled it, she could have passed away from that. So something else that is a very good idea is to put electrolytes in their water. So we've got electrolytes in here. It'll just give them a little boost, especially if they've been through something as stressful as being mailed through the postal system. Something else that I highly recommend is to get one of those, what are they called? Laser thermometers. Those things are so nice to have, because wherever you point it, it will tell you what your temperature is in the brooder. That way you will know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you have the right temperature for them to, go to sleep under, and then also you'll know what your temperature is where they can get away from the direct heat, which sort of plays into what I was going to say next. Just make sure you have a brooder that's big enough for them to be able to get away from the heat, because being overheated is just as dangerous as them getting too cold. So another thing that is very important is to have some sort of bedding or ground cover where they can get a grip with their feet. If you have them just on a slick surface, they can end up getting splayed legs, and that's also something that could just become a problem. Now, I have got a chick. I'm looking for her right now. It's the little Cochin. I only know who the Cochin is for sure, and the Birchin Moran. The Birchin Moran is wearing a little, and I can see where she's at. She's right in the center. she's wearing a little band on her ankle. The Cochin has very, very fluffy little legs. She has a slight case of splayed legs. So I am gonna need to tape her legs whenever my husband gets home so he can help me hold her. So I'm gonna get that handled. But you definitely wanna have bedding down where that's not gonna become a problem, where they can get a good grip where they're walking. And I would just suggest to get a good chick starter feed, something that has the right ratio of nutrients in there for them so they can get off to a good start. So I hope if you are new to chicken keeping that some of these tips were helpful to you guys, and I hope you will also look forward to seeing more of these adorable little babies in the future. So if you are enjoying our content, I hope you'll stick around, like and subscribe, and have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys in the next video.